Okay, a great question to end the Barvember week here. Abby, Beth, Cal and Danny shared 120 buttons. Abby received 50% of the total number of buttons that the others received. Beth received 2/3 of the total amount of buttons Cal and Danny received. And the ratio of Cal's to Danny's buttons is 3:1. Okay, and the question we're asked is how many buttons did they each receive? Well, there's a lot of information there, a lot of comparing one person's amount to another person's amount, so it looks like it could be quite complicated, but it's actually, again, a perfect, really nice bar model question. And extra nice because I love it when we've got the names beginning with A, B, C, D and so on. Let's start. Let's figure out where we're going to start. Okay. So Abby received 50% of the total number of the buttons the others received. So we can't do Abby. We need to calculate the rest first. Beth receives 2/3 of Cal and Danny. So we need to start with Cal and Danny. And Cal has 3 times the amount that Danny has. So I'm actually going to start with Danny. Okay, so here's Danny and he's going to get my basic unit to start with. Okay, so Danny has 1 basic unit. Cal has 3 times what Danny has. Okay, and that's fine. So that's what Cal and Danny have, and we're told that Beth receives 2/3 of that total amount. Okay, so I want to draw a bar for Beth. Now, what do Cal and Danny have? Well, they have 4 units, and I want to split the 4 units into thirds. So that's going to be a lot easier if I first divide, instead of having 4 units, to have 12, to divide it into 12ths. And that's easy to do because I can then just divide each unit into 3. Okay, so this is then going to give me 12ths. Okay, and so Cal and Danny have 12 12ths, 12 parts. Okay, so Beth has 2/3 of 12, which is 8. So I'm going to draw her a bar, which is going to give her 8 parts. So that would be 3, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to go out to here. Okay, and that's what Beth has. And I'm going to draw in the parts just so that we can see them. Okay, there we go. All right, and so that's 8. I'm going to just write that in there. Remember, this is 9. Okay, 3, 6, 9, and that's 3. Okay, so, and why is this important? Because we need to figure out what Abby has. Abby has 50% of the total number of buttons that the others received. So what did the others receive? Well, let's just use another colour just to make things a bit prettier. What's this going to be? This is going to add up to 20 parts. I'm going to write 20 parts. There we go. So Abby has half of 20, which is 10. Okay, so I need to draw 10 parts for Abby. Okay, so that's going to be all the way to here, plus another part there, another third there. All right, and just for the sake of completeness, let's draw all the parts in. Okay, right, and she has 10 altogether. Okay, so where are we now? We now know all of the proportions, what everybody has compared to everybody else. We also know the total number, all right, the total number of buttons. So that's 120 buttons in total. Okay, and we know the total number of parts. So we have 120 buttons and we have 20 plus 10, 30 parts. 30 equal sized portions. Okay, so we need to divide 120 by 30, okay, which is 4. So each of these, okay, each of these as a value of 4, and I could write 4 in all of these, but I'm not going to. Okay, but what I can do now is, if I know that all of these are worth 4, I can calculate how many buttons each person has. So Abby has, shall we pick another colour for the answer? Okay, so Abby has 10 times 4, which is then 40 buttons. Okay, Beth has 8 times 4, which is 32 buttons. Okay, Cal has 9 times 4, which is 36 buttons, and Danny, obviously not the biggest fan of buttons, has 3 times 4, which is 12 buttons. Okay, I hope that helps.